What I was begging for earlier, because I'm like a soy TV watcher, was to find out about the internal politics at MrBeast and what their reactions were like. And if this is true, like the idea of MrBeast like personally like crying as this is going on, being like, I think we messed up that tweet. That's so interesting. Not even like a sycophantic, like I want to see him suffer way, just in like a wow. Imagining the scene in my head, okay? So the latest thing with MrBeast and Kris Tyson is pretty interesting. Drama Alert made a big post about it on Twitter. We're going to try to dive into it here and get to the bottom of it. So this is all in relation to, you guys remember I made that video that was about the person who was claiming that Kris Tyson had sexually assaulted them, not Lava or Nathan or any of that. It wasn't a minor. There was this like adult trans individual who claimed that Kris sexually assaulted them and like took advantage of them in the workplace, like basically use them for sex with the promise of a job. I thought that allegation seemed pretty dumb, but we've got a bunch of responses here going on. Drama Alert says, Kris Tyson's partner leaked response to drama has surfaced online, allegedly. These messages were allegedly sent to mods in a Discord and then leaked online via an anonymous document. Kris Tyson's alleged SA victim Jess has also responded to these leaked messages, indicating the leaked DM messages are real and suggesting that only Kris Tyson's partner Eric could have access to them. The alleged anonymous account claims MrBeast is afraid of inflaming a situation that could anger their corporate investors. I mean, that's easy to believe. 2, Ava Kris Tyson is disgusted by the person she used to be. 3, Ava Kris Tyson did not know Lava was a minor, allegedly. 4, Ava wishes she had never engaged with Shadman. 5, Ava denied advances made by the alleged SA victim, allegedly. 6, there's an HR investigation into the SA allegations, and MrBeast doesn't allegedly want anyone to say anything publicly in case it causes more things to flare up online. I mean, with an ongoing investigation, I think that makes sense. 7, MrBeast team is preventing Ava from allegedly talking. Any response from Ava would flare stuff up again. 8, Ava's first apology tweet was allegedly entirely written by the MrBeast exec under insane pressure of Amazon and other corporate investors. 9, MrBeast and the Beast CEO had alleged tears in their eyes after Ava's tweet was posted and allegedly later regretted it. What the hell? Okay. What is going on? 10, proper third-party investigations are being done into everything that's been brought up against Ava. 11, the corporate investors currently do not want Ava to have any social media presence for a number of years. It's important to clarify these claims are not being made by Drama Alert. They originate from an anonymous account which allegedly belonged to a moderator for Kris Tyson's partner. DMs posted by this account have indicated as real by the alleged SA victim. So here we have these two people. Kris Tyson's partner speaks out allegedly. Now this guy, I remember seeing this guy around as like some kind of ex-MrBeast employee, but I don't remember a lot about him, to be honest. I think he made some response vaguely defending Kris on Twitter. Eret is his name. E-R-E-T. This dude. 1 million followers. Who is this? Deep voice, chill vibes. I stream. Bi, genderqueer, any pronouns. All right. Let's see here. So Ava posted their response. This is the old response. I'd like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It's not my intent. Seeing recent events, I've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. So Eric posts, the pure scale of everything at Beast makes uncertainty very hard to stomach. Well, a lot of the accusations have been proven to not be as serious as some have made them out to be. See Lava GS. That didn't really work out long term, did it? Ava's edgy humor in 2016 around when most of these accusations originate makes it very easy to paint her in a negative light. Ava is an entirely different person from who she was then. The amount of hardship she has had to overcome to exist on the platform she has is unlike anyone else I know. Serious accusations should be addressed, but this leads to a lot of uncertainty in finding the truth. As before, uncertainty is hard to stomach. The actions of Ava 8 years ago do not reflect who she is today. She's an amazing mother and wants to use her platform to help as many people as she can. Please give Ava time and understanding. She's not the monster she's being made out to be. Okay, so she's got that. Man, I got my vaccines yesterday. I'm starting to feel sick. Hopefully it's not related. Hopefully I'm just dehydrated or something. So then we have this tweet. So this is the prior context to this. Eret's somewhat defensive Kris Tyson. So let's see what this is. MrBeast Expo on Twitter. MrBeast Expo on Twitter. All right, so the first time they tweeted is August 12th. MrBeast and Amazon are trying to cover up the Ava drama. So let's see what this is. Eret reveals MrBeast and Amazon advised him and Ava to stay silent on the allegations. Despite this, Eret stands by Ava's past actions. Let's see this. So there's a lot of wording here. A lot of verbiage. A lot. I wanted to talk to you all about my relationship with Ava and everything that's been happening behind the scenes at MrBeast. MrBeast has asked you not to talk about a lot of this publicly as they're terrified of inflaming a situation that could anger their corporate investors. I can talk more about that later. That being said, you guys deserve full transparency from me and deserve to know what's really happening with everything regarding Ava. I know that this is a wall of text, but it's been consuming my life for the past few weeks, and there's a lot that's hard to talk about publicly that I want to share with you. Ava and I are both disgusted by the person she used to be. I'll go into detail on points, but I need you to know that I would not be dating someone who did not behave in the way 2016 to 18 Ava did. Okay, so Errett, they're claiming this is from Errett and that Errett is Ava's partner, basically, right? That's what the claim is here. Allegedly or whatever. I don't know where this is from. I would not have introduced her to you guys or my community if I didn't know she'd be capable of helping us do amazing things. If you're somehow out of the loop on the situation, Ava, my partner and MrBeast cast member, was recently on the receiving end of a couple of coordinated attack videos that suggested that Ava had groomed a minor. The video details the story of Lava GS, one of Ava's old Discord mods, who would go on to get a job at MrBeast. Lava was 14 at the time, which Ava only learned much later on. Okay, so they're claiming here Ava did not know the age of Lava until far later. That's what they're saying here. Vaxxed? Good question. Very relevant, poignant question even. Lava made a statement expressing that Ava never did anything wrong. See tweet. Well, that's kind of been, that was walked back later by Lava himself, but all right. When was this from? So this is posted on August 12th. It's the 14th. When was this statement made? How much did this Errett person supposedly know about this? Despite a lot of these early claims having little weight, they highlighted a large number of incredibly regrettable tweets and posts made by Ava between 2016 to 18, which she has previously addressed when she was cishet and it was brushed off. Okay. They combine these tweets with the accusations to paint Ava as a monster. Specific topics. Firstly, I want to say I don't stand by any of Ava's past actions or behavior, but I want you guys to have the full context that explains the gross-looking screenshots. Who is Lava GS and what happened in the Discord server? The Discord server where Lava would eventually become a mod started as a Discord for Ava to play CSGO with 5 of her adult friends. These friends invited their friends, and the server grew as online communities do. This was entirely separate from Beast, somewhere Ava could shitpost with her friends. However, it was also like 2016, Filthy Frank eating vomit cake and SJW-owned compilations were the pinnacle of humor. Lava came...
Pause. Double pause.
Lava came to Ava offering to help set up bots on the Discord, and Ava accepted. Ava made several dumb, edgy, or gross jokes, some of which are sexual in nature. At the time, Ava did not know that Lava was a minor. This doesn't make this okay, but I hope it can help show that her behavior at the time was never intentionally harmful. Lava addresses this on his Twitter that I previously linked. Shortly after Ava learned that Lava was a minor, she decided to fully delete the Discord because she realized that it was not a positive influence and wanted to leave that part of her life behind. Over the next 2 years, Lava helped with moderating Ava's personal community Discord and running her Minecraft server. One day, Ava heard MrBeast Gaming was looking for people to help with their Minecraft servers. Given Lava's track record, she gets him an interview at MrBeast. He passed the interview and goes to work in the MrBeast Gaming studio in Greenville, North Carolina. He worked there for 9 months. In that time, Ava only ever met him in person when she was on set at the studio or if Lava was helping on a shoot. There was never any inappropriate interaction between them, short of the few gross jokes made in the public Discord. The Shadman art. In 2016, Ava brought a print from a not safe for work edgy/Twitter artist called Shadman. I haven't seen the pic myself, but I'm not going to seek it out. We can all agree that inappropriate depictions of minors is sickening. I know Ava wishes that she had never engaged with Shadman, but so many of the YouTubers she looked up to at the time, parentheses PewDiePie only plays Zach Hadel, who would go on to create Smiling Friends, were friends with him, or at least engaged with Shad's content. I don't know about PewDiePie, but I know the other two. I think that is true. It almost seemed like certain people could get away with saying and doing gross or terrible things under the premise that it's an edgy joke or too normie to get it. Ava fell for this at the time, made a decision to buy the print that I know sickens herself today. Shadman would go on to develop serious drug addictions and started to increasingly draw not safe for work art depicting minors. This bottom part is true. As far as like it being a casual thing, I mean, Ava was clearly more of a fan than you're letting on here, right? If this is from Errett. Whoever wrote this, I think Ava was more than a casual fan. I mean, responding to him all the time, buying his print, going on his website, shouting him out. Like, I feel like that's not totally accurate to me. Doesn't seem totally accurate to me, in my opinion. Everyone who previously supported Shad has distanced themselves from him. Given this, any association with him looks terrible. I hope he's in prison. He might be. Who knows? I've seen some people claiming Ava commissioned the art from Shad, but that's not true. Okay, I think this is a true statement. Ava bought a print from a link on his Twitter page. Should she have done that? No. Does she regret it? Yes. Does that make it right? No. But I do know that the Ava of 2016 is not the Ava of 2024. She would never make the same mistake, especially now that she is a parent as of 2020. What more can she do to allow her to move on from her past mistakes? Jess, her ex-assistant, has made a series of claims against Ava. So this is Muskina, the person that claimed that Ava pressured them into sexual activities. With this allegation in particular, I saw not a lot of merit personally. She claimed that Ava pressured her into sexual activities on multiple occasions, among other disgusting accusations. It's very hard to talk about this publicly, as you would ideally want to believe a victim in an SA case. However, having known Jess IRL and having been familiar with who she is for months before this, I know the facts. Jess and Ava met over the mutual involvement in trans Twitter and became online friends. Being trans can be very isolating and expensive. Ava was isolated and had the opportunity to help Jess with her finances. Ava wanted to help Jess achieve her gender and life goals. The best way to do this would be to get Jess a job where she can get paid through MrBeast, as that will also cover insurance. Through this job, Jess is paid very well by Beast. She's able to help Ava with scheduling, taking care of Tucker, Ava's 4-year-old kid, etc. During this time, Jess is living in Ava's house so that she wouldn't have to pay rent for elsewhere, and Ava is paying for everything. Jess professed her love to Ava a few times, and Ava had responded that she sees her like a sister and wants nothing romantic. Well, something romantic happened, to be clear, right? I mean, I don't know if you consider like gooning over Discord or getting their sucked romance, but it seems like to an extent they did have some kind of sexual relationship, right? From what I can tell. Now, whether there's an abuse of power there is debatable. I don't think there really was from what I saw, but yeah, I thought that was like the biggest, like, quote unquote invalid allegation from the evidence that I saw. Jess read like a very like jilted ex who was more mad about the fact that Ava was not with them than mad about the fact that they were, quote unquote, which there was no evidence for. You know, earlier this year, Ava started to spend more time with me. We started dating after we met in person for the first time to see the solar eclipse in Austin. Before this trip, Jess and Ava had been on a trip to Jess's hometown of Boston, where Jess again said she was in love with Ava, but Ava responded again that she sees her as a sister. When Ava came out to meet me in Austin, Jess started to tweet terrible things about being let out, and in one tweet threatens to kill herself. Ava and Jess talk it out, and Jess deletes the tweets. I'd also invited Jess to Austin, but she had refused. Somebody needs to compile like a timeline of these events to see if what Eric apparently is saying here lines up with like any deleted tweets from Jess Muskina. Ava and Jess talk it out, and Jess deletes the tweets. I'd also invited Jess to Austin, but she had refused. You can maybe understand a bit more about how Jess to Austin, but she had refused? I don't understand that. Okay, this line is just, I guess, mistype. You can maybe understand a bit more of how Jess viewed Ava from this brief conversation we had around this time, where I wanted to reach out to Jess to show that I am not a threat to her, and she describes Ava as the most important person in her life. Pic below. So here's the pic. I can't zoom in on Twitter, great. Hey, Jess, I've been hearing... Can I open the image in a new tab and zoom in? Here we go. Hey, Jess, I've been hearing that you worry that Ava's been ignoring you to spend time with me, and I want to open this line of communication so we can all be on the same side. Ava cares for you a lot. You're one of the people she trusts most in the world, and I know she'll always be there for you when you need it. I'm not very familiar with the dynamic between you two and a day-to-day stuff, but I know that we're both on the same side. We both care a lot about Ava and want to see her thrive and succeed. I don't want to be seen as trying to cut you out of things because I'm not. You were invited to both Austin and LA. I look forward to meeting you at some point down the line. While Ava is my main focus, I want to know and be conscious of everyone she considers close, and you're one of the people who keeps coming up as someone she cares about. I'm here to make sure no one feels shitty, and if there's anything I can do to make things better, please let me know. So apparently Muskina says, thank you so much for reaching out. You're an incredibly considerate and compassionate person. Ava has been an amazing friend to me, the likes of which I've never had. We've grown through so much together, and in the process, she became the most important person in my life. Nothing brings me more joy than to see her happy and see her spend time with people who care about her. Our dynamic has grown and changed in ways, and it's something that I'm still personally learning to deal with. I hope you don't feel bad or responsible anyway for what Ava and I are going through. I personally have been going through a hard time lately and took a lot of it out on Ava. I feel horrible for some of the things I've said and the way I acted, but Ava and I have been through a lot, and I really hope that we're going to be okay. I look forward to meeting you in the future, and I appreciate you extending all of the invitations. Ava deserves someone like you. So that's the DM. That is the DM. Continuing reading. When I first came to stay with Ava in North Carolina in May, Jess still lived there. I made an effort to talk with her and trying my best to make her not feel like a third wheel too badly. However, she mainly isolated herself to her room. One night, Ava and I are chatting at the back porch, and Jess announces, by the way, I'm heading to Boston tomorrow. This had come out of nowhere. Ava had even ordered furniture to the house under the assumption that Jess would be there, as Ava was out of town with me in LA for Pride. Okay, that is how fast Jess moved out. Even though Jess had moved to Boston, she somehow still expected to be able to do her executive assistant job from there. She'd essentially quit. She's being paid very well by Beast, didn't pay for rent, food, her laser hair removal appointments. Ava paid for everything. All of that stopped when she left for Boston with no notice. I don't know if she has a job at all. Interesting. So he's saying that Jess just left of her own volition and just got the f*** out of there. Interesting. Very interesting. There's already been an ongoing third-party HR investigation at Beast for a couple weeks regarding Jess. However, as MrBeast has been under so much pressure recently, they don't want anyone to say anything publicly in case it causes more things to flare up online. So the uncharitable interpretation of this is they don't want to say anything publicly about the investigation, no matter what the results are. But the way I'm reading this more, you know, to give a little bit of credit to Arit/MrBeast, if this is true, is more he's under a lot of pressure. They don't want to say anything publicly until the investigation is concluded in case things flare up online, right? Because he doesn't want more leaks/controversy to happen when they don't even know the outcome of the investigation. So that would be the charitable interpretation of this. Yeah. You can imagine they just want all of this to simmer down and go away. Any response from Ava would flare up stuff again. There's already been an ongoing third-party investigation at Beast for a couple of weeks. However, okay, wait, why is this repeated like multiple times? As a result, nothing can be said. They won't let Ava say I didn't do it, so the internet just assumes she did it. With the Muskina thing, I don't assume that she did it, to be honest. Public response. All right, so apparently he's addressing this post. I wanted to address my public response situation. I was the one who had to post Ava's terrible apology tweet as I had changed the password to Ava's Twitter to help her quit it. Huh. He's saying that he had been the one to post that tweet. It had been entirely written by the MrBeast execs under the insane pressure of Amazon and other corporate investors. The previous week, the first recording attempt for the MrBeast Amazon show with 2,000 contestants was a failure, which would have been millions thrown away. This does seem to be true, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but I did record a video about it today. This does seem to be true, you know, whether or not this is actually from Arit. It definitely could be. So the reason why I'm saying that this seems true in particular, as far as it being a failure, is because there's a lot of articles about how much of a failure it was. Like the New York Times posted an article basically detailing all of the issues that came with New York Times MrBeast. Yeah, so this article outlines basically they reached out to a bunch of contestants looking for testimony. And by all accounts, a lot of contestants said it was basically a failure. They weren't given proper food. They weren't given proper medical treatment. They weren't given medications on time. And we'll get more into this article in a little bit. But, I mean, it does seem to be a failure from every perspective that I can tell, right? Make a Kris Tyson NFT. I'll get right on that, bro. I'll get right on that. These accusations hitting directly after that whole project got destroyed made the investors terrified, and they basically forced Jimmy to kick Ava out as they considered her guilty until proven innocent. I don't know about that. It's more they consider Kris Tyson, whatever, a liability to the brand. I don't know if investors pressured them, but that would be interesting. I have heard it. We'll go into this article a little bit more because there's that one, and then there's one with. So this article outlines basically what happened with the production and why it was such a failure. And this Business Insider article basically outlines how Amazon seemingly has been unpleased with the results of the deal, and ultimately it doesn't look like it's going to pan out the way that they wanted it to. And part of that problem is because they gave MrBeast so much creative control, which he wanted, very much he wanted that. But ultimately it resulted in a lot of issues with production and people not being treated that well. I had protested at how terrible the tweet was and asked if it would be possible to change some words, like if I offended in the word permanently. But in a room with Jimmy Beast, the MrBeast CEO, MrBeast COO, and Ava, I was told, no, we cannot change it. We have to run it by the investors. We need to say that. And with no other option, I posted the tweet. Jimmy and the CEO had tears in their eyes. They left soon after. Here's the first tweet. What the f? How did this even, is this from the guy? How did this get leaked? Wow. Allegedly sent to mods in a Discord and then leaked online. So one of the mods leaked it is the claim being made here. I was understandably very frustrated by the whole thing. They had done nothing to say that Ava wasn't a predator and just threw her under the bus. I made my own big tweet expressing this frustration, and within 10 minutes of posting, Jimmy calls me and says, you're right. We really didn't do anything to support Ava. I'm coming over so we can work on something better. He comes over with the COO, and we develop the follow-up tweets together with Ava. During this drafting process, Jimmy tells me, we're so lucky we have you to help us with this. We've never had to go through anything like this before. I respond, yeah, I really wish you would let me help you with the first tweet. Jimmy then replied, yeah, we kind of messed up the first one. Ava would not have had support if it wasn't for me physically being there. At least Beast had the generosity to pay for my flight out there before they dropped Ava. Interesting. I'm doing a lot of pondering right now, chat. I don't know you guys, I'm doing a lot of pondering right now, because if this is true, this is like, you guys remember what I was begging for? Also like the stream. What I was begging for earlier, because I'm like a soy TV watcher, was to find out about the internal politics at MrBeast and what their reactions were like. And if this is true, like the idea of MrBeast like personally like crying as this is going on, being like I think we messed up that tweet. That's so interesting. Not even like a sycophantic, like I want to see him suffer way, just in like a wow. Imagining the scene in my head, okay? This is like have you guys seen Succession on HBO? Good show, by the way. It's basically about a family that the family runs a giant media conglomerate, kind of like comparable to like Fox or something like that. I'm imagining like the scenes in my head. After those tweets were put out, MrBeast higher-ups have been telling us not to say anything publicly as they're terrified of more stories spinning out of control. At the moment, lots of people are seeing weakness at MrBeast and are trying to take advantage of the situation. I know they are panicking hard at the moment. Kicking Ava out was a knee-jerk reaction to the incredible pressure from the corporate investors. So they're saying he didn't even want to kick Ava out. It was the corporate investors believed it to be true, or they saw the allegations. They were like, this could affect our deal. You know, this could be a problem with Amazon. This could be a problem for our bottom line. So we're going to do that. Interesting. This is so fascinating to me. This is so fascinating. Wow. So the last one reads, proper third-party investigations are being done into everything that's been brought up against Ava. They should hopefully conclude within the next few weeks. I hope that when those investigations do conclude, the findings will be shared on official MrBeast social media. I hope they will clear Ava's name in that while the things Ava said and did in 2016 to 18 were inappropriate and shouldn't have been done, they never extended beyond the poor attempts at jokes that they are. I'm also honestly not sure how Jess expects to get away with so many falsehoods in the long run. She provided little evidence and left out anything that made herself look bad. I actually, in regards to Jess, I agree with that. A lot of this, the rest of the statement, I'm kind of like, eh. But in regards to the Jess thing, my impression was not that Kris Tyson had sexually assaulted them. It was that they had kind of a complicated relationship, and that relationship was one of like people who were friends, and then they were like gooning together, whatever, you know, weirdo shit. And at some point, Ava, out of genuine kindness and generosity, had offered that person a job. And that person then was upset about the fact that the job did not result in a relationship. There's this one DM where I think Ava is proposing something to the effect of, like, look, I understand your concerns. Like, I honestly don't really want to have a relationship / sexual relationship with you if it makes us with our job and you feel like there's a conflict. And then Muskina replies like, well, I personally don't even have a problem with a relationship being involved. I don't have a problem with that, right? And then from that point, it continued. So it was wrong for a working relationship. The thing is, I don't think a working relationship is inherently wrong. A lot of people meet from work. I mean, so many people meet from work, right? Where do people even spend time? There's like 3 places adults can spend time. It's college / education, it's a job, or it is like social events, right? And the majority of your time is spent on a job. Like you're spending 8 hours a day there. So it's normal people will meet in a job. Now, the thing that many people will bring up in response to that is like, okay, well, but it's a superior and an underling having a relationship. And I agree, there could be a lot of problems there. It can be there's a lot of unethical activity that can occur. But I don't think just because somebody is a boss and they start dating is inferior the wrong word to use, and they start dating somebody who's lower ranked in the company, I don't think that relationship is inherently wrong just because of the existence of the power imbalance. Now, power imbalances can, of course, be abused. They can be, and that's, you know, disturbing when it does happen. But from what Muskina described, I didn't see subordinate. Okay, subordinate is good. I didn't see any abuse of that power imbalance from what I saw. The corporate investors currently do not want Ava to have any social media presence for a number of years. I don't know when or if she's allowed to defend herself. Interesting. Okay, so they said this. This is supposedly leaked. So then Drama Alert posts this tweet showing the leaked stuff and showing this beautiful, amazing image. And apparently Muskina responded. So I'm curious to see what Muskina Gender Millennial said. How do I find this person's account up handle? Okay, here we go. Aaron has tweeted a lot. Let's see here. So they seem to be under the impression this is from Eric, and they say, hey, Eric, thanks for finally addressing how Ava essayed me. Since you lied multiple times throughout this private Discord message you sent to your staff, let's go through it and point them all out. Okay, let's see that. This person said, you knew me IRL. We were in a Discord call once together with Ava to play Helldivers. I met you in person once, the first time you visited Ava in North Carolina. As you mentioned, we didn't really talk or hang out at all. Having known Jess IRL, we're familiar with who she is for months before this. I know the well, maybe you could have said met. Maybe that's a poor choice of words, but I feel like that's kind of a minor thing to focus on. I already have a job. Ava just got me one making a little more money. I made more money at MrBeast, but I was also salaried and always on call. Live-in assistant and travel with Ava for shoots was a lot of work, and I was compensated fairly. Okay, so they say they were compensated fairly. Thank you for continuing to post daily slop. You're welcome. I pay for my own health insurance, and before that received Mass Health, the state of Massachusetts. I have no idea why you made this up or where you got your false info. I live with Ava because she wanted me to. I literally had other rent-free options from within the company, which Ava and I discussed, but that never happened because Ava wanted me around. Ava's paying for everything. I pay my own bills and pay for the majority of my food while I live with her. What else do you think she bought me? Because I literally got nothing that wasn't work-related. I actually bought her more gifts than she ever did for me. Ask her what happened at Christmas when I got gifts. When I got her gifts, she didn't give me anything. Ava also said she has similar feelings of love being in a relationship with me after our Boston and Easter trip, and assured me neither of you were looking for anything serious due to distance and other factors. I was depression posting, but never threatened to kill myself. I refused to go to Austin because I had a surgery coming up and had to go back to Boston, Lamau. I felt left out because Ava was supposed to visit me while I recovered, but she went to see you instead. You've been a light in my current dark times. Well, glad I can be, buddy. Good luck with that stuff. Hope the situation improves. Light in my current dark times. Also, did you have a hard time putting this together? You pasted a bunch of copied sentences in the wrong place. It's hard to read and understand. I agree with that. Yes, she was the most important person in my life as well as my boss. That's how she was so easily able to take advantage of me. The problem with this claim is I didn't see any evidence of Ava taking advantage of them. Like, I saw clearly that they did have a relationship. I saw clearly there was like a job offer and they did work for Ava for a period of time. But as far as like pressuring them to do sexual things in order to keep that job, I didn't see that. And at one point, one of the DMs from Muskina's tweets, which I went over in the video that I made, the DM, as I said it in the stream, it was something to the effect of like, you know, Muskina expressing concern over like maybe there's a conflict of interest. And then Ava's like, hey, look, you know, honestly, I understand your concern. Like, if you don't want to have a sexual relationship, you know, that's totally fine. Like, I understand the unethical, you know, situation that may arise from that. But Muskina then says, like, no, I want to continue having a relationship. I love my friends. So I was like, I was very perplexed by that, you know. Offering a job is pressure. So offering a job can definitely be pressure if you're like, hey, do you want to have sex? I'll give you a job as a result. Like, yes, that is. But I didn't see anything like that from what I saw. Right? I didn't see anything like that from what I saw. Let's see here. So in response to one night, Ava and I are chatting in the back porch, and Jess announces, by the way, I'm heading to Boston tomorrow. This came out of nowhere. Ava had even ordered furniture to the house under the assumption that Jess would be there, as Ava was out of town with me in LA for Pride. Well, you really f***ed up this lie. Ava and I had multiple in-person conversations about me moving back to Boston and keeping my job, none of which you were present for. Also, I literally put that furniture away before I moved out. Okay. I didn't tell Ava a date for when I was moving out until she had already left for LA. Clearly evident since you said, as Ava was out of town in LA for Pride. I didn't leave a few days after y'all left as I had to pack everything and rent a moving truck, LMAO. She agreed to let me keep my job and live in Boston multiple times, and I paid for the majority of my own laser. I didn't pay for food. Can you tell DoorDash and my bank account that? Because I guess they owe me thousands of dollars. So when you say something like this, I feel like if I'm going to be charitable to Muskina, why not just post a screenshot? Because in DoorDash or Uber Eats, right, you can see transaction history. Like, you can see transaction history. You can see directly. Like, if I go to my Uber Eats, I can see all the up shit I've ordered in my life, right? Which is, unfortunately for me, been a decent amount throughout my life. I've wasted a lot of money on Uber Eats. Yesterday, when I was on Destiny's stream, I didn't have time to cook. I ordered chicken tikka masala, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So why not just post the transaction history here? I mean, obviously, Air It or whatever didn't provide proof, to the contrary. So, it's like proving a negative, but like still, or sorry, disproving a positive. But they didn't even have any like allegation evidence here. So why not just post it? I feel like that would help the story a lot. Tom, are you soy maxing? You're starting to look like In Praise of Shadows. I am soy maxing all the time. Correct. You don't know if I have a job. You could have reached out and asked, and I would tell you I currently work in health insurance full-time as an advocate for members who are elderly and or disabled. Okay. My case got moved to the third-party investigators, probably because the company didn't like the results of the original investigations, which started in early June. I mean, maybe. Or maybe they just thought they should get third-party investigators because it looks good publicly, but also third-party investigations are going to be better than an internal one, because the internal one, there could be a conflict of interest with people who are working there, right? No one assumes she did anything. In my case, there's an overwhelming amount of evidence and corroboration. Is there, though? From her thread, I didn't see an overwhelming amount of evidence or corroboration. I saw her saying one thing and then posting screenshots that didn't really line up with what she was claiming happened. I mean, it still could have happened, I guess. I wasn't there, but, for all the evidence she posted, I didn't really see any evidence of sexual. Yes, Mr. Beast wants to avoid anyone saying anything publicly about what happened to me and other victims so investors don't pull out. They don't care at all that I was SA'd at their company. They won't let Ava talk. No, Ava refuses to talk herself because, one, she can't prove her innocence. Two, if she does talk, she'll probably lose her income and a lot more from Mr. Beast. So she's still getting paid from Mr. Beast? That's interesting if she's still on payroll. If that's true. Ava refuses to talk herself because, one, she can't prove her innocence. Two, if she does talk, she'll probably lose her income and a lot more. I don't know if any of this is true. The thing is, like, this is plausible, but on the other side, what Eric said allegedly is also plausible. So I just don't, like, I can't imagine at Mr. Beast the process for a company that big is as simple as, yeah, Ava, you just go respond. Like, because however she responds, you know, obviously if she's a person, however she responds will reflect negatively on the entire company, you know? There's a screenshot of Ava admitting what happened the night she SA'd me. Are you also defending a supervisor receiving oral sex with a subordinate? But the thing is, like, there's a screenshot of Ava admitting that they had some kind of, like, sexual contact. There's not a screenshot of Ava admitting that there was any kind of sexual assault. Also, you're defending a supervisor receiving oral sex from their subordinate. Are you defending that? Are you defending a supervisor receiving oral sex from their subordinate? I mean, I don't know about Eric, but I guess I am actually defending that. Did their sexual relationship not start before the job discussion at all? Let me go to Muskina's original thread. Let me go back there. The new Kris Tyson allegations. All right, so here we have the original thread. Let's just go back here. So here's where they meet. We saw this one. Where the f is the full thing? There's way more tweets. Okay, hold on. I found the... Here we go. Eventually, we talked about me potentially working for Mr. Beast. She told me she could get me in a video. So Muskina asks about that and on November 19th. And the same day, well, I don't know when they sent this message, but Muskina asked for a job. Kris says, I'll keep you in mind. Okay, so that happens on the 19th. So when was the gooning thing? I don't have a screenshot of when the gooning started is the problem because she tells this whole story. Did the gooning start before or after the job hiring? I feel like that's a big question. Or the job offer even. I feel like another thing to acknowledge here is like, it wasn't like Kris came to them and was like, okay, so let's say you're saying, you know, the sex offer job was implied. Okay, let's talk about that. So Kris didn't offer them a job in the first place. Muskina asked for a job. Kris said, I'll keep you in mind, right? I feel like if Kris had come and offered the job right off the bat, that would have been maybe a lot worse. I think a lot worse, leaning in Kris's favor, or sorry, leaning against Kris. But because of like the way this seemingly played out, like it doesn't seem to me like sexual. It doesn't seem to me like there was even any pressure. It doesn't even seem manipulative to me. I think there was an article about this, though, so I want to read that, too. Everything I said is the truth. I have evidence and witnesses to back it up. What witnesses? I'm curious. Where are those witnesses? There's literally nothing the company can sue me for because all I want is for the truth to be out there. Also, at Eric, can you tell me what your point is by saying I was paid very well? Is there a certain dollar amount you can pay someone that makes it okay to SA them? I don't think that's what he was even implying, but okay. Also, you know Mr. Beast paid me, right? Not Ava. Maybe next time reach out and talk to a victim of SA before posting lies and attempt to discredit them. You have multiple ways to contact me directly, and you never did. Clearly, you're hearing an incredibly biased version of events with the person who SA. Well, in fairness, I don't want to defend Ava, Kris Tyson here, because they are a up person, and this Eric guy. I think the SA was when Ava touched herself unprompted next to Jess. Maybe, but they also had a sexual relationship prior to that, first of all. Like, it wasn't the first time they had around. And on top of that, like, not really. That's also, I mean, that's what Muskina said, right? Touched themselves unprompted. We don't have a screenshot of Ava saying, I did that unprompted. We have a screenshot of them being like, oh yeah, the thing that happened that night when we, you know, around, right? Like, there's no, to be clear, there's no screenshot of Muskina saying, like, you sexually assaulted me, and Kris Tyson saying, yes, I did. And obviously that's a very high bar. It's rare that somebody who sexually assaults someone would just admit to it, right? That's extremely rare. But from everything I know, it doesn't seem like it was sexual assault, to be honest. It just doesn't. It's like unprofessional to be around with someone that you're also hiring. I don't disagree with that. But was there sexual assault? I don't know. I didn't really see that. I didn't really see blatant manipulation attempts at all. Muskina never said Ava forced to do anything. It was basically a toxic consensual relationship. Muskina opens the thread saying Kris Tyson sexually assaulted me. So that's how it opens. And then when you read it, yes, I agree with that. Once you get into the minutia, there's no point in time when Kris ever says anything like, you need to do this, I want you to do this, I'm going to take away your job. There's never even implication of that, right? So, I mean, yeah. And to be clear, like, you know, Muskina says posted, but, you know, I mean, this Eric guy didn't post that publicly. He posted to a few people privately, I guess, to explain himself, right? Is it indecent exposure? Okay, let's run through this scenario. If you're frequently having a sexual relationship with someone, consensually, okay, you both consent to sex multiple times, and then at one point you guys are sitting on a couch together and you essentially start jerking your dick, asking them for sex, is that sexual? don't think so. Now, if that person says no and you continue to be like, yes, please, 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 you try to force yourself on them, or you say, if you don't do it, that something bad will happen to you. I mean, that's another thing. But like, imagine the roles are reversed. Okay. Imagine, take away the transgender aspect of it. Okay. Let's say this is a guy and a girl sitting on a couch together, watching TV. They've previously had sex consensually multiple times. Okay, let's say that happens. And then the girl, okay, she leaves for a minute and she walks in and she's got her ass out or something, okay? She's wearing some hot lingerie. Is that sexual assault? No, not inherently at all. That's the Louis C.K. move. Well, the Louis C.K. move, from what I understand, is saying, can I please off in front of you, to a girl who he hasn't had a sexual relationship with. That's the Louis C.K. move, right? Like that. That's not the same thing. It's sexual harassment. I mean, it can be, but it also cannot be. If they say no and you keep doing it, it's harassment. I mean, harassment, or it could be, yeah. But if it keeps going is the thing. Like from Muskina's account, Kris starts touching themselves. Keep in mind, at one point, when they've already had sex multiple times and gooned multiple times, okay? Like, this has already happened multiple times. This is happening, okay? That's what they said. And then Muskina just sucks their dick. Like, it wasn't like Kris, from their own account, it wasn't like Kris was like, you need to suck my dick right now. It was like they took their dick out and, you know, 3 minutes later, Muskina's slobbing on it, you know? Like, it doesn't mean they still want it. I mean, maybe, but you need to communicate that, right? Like, you need to communicate that. You just say, I don't want it. Now, the thing that complicates this is that obviously these people aren't just friends, right? They also, they're friends. They've gooned before. And on top of that, you know, Kris has given this person a job. Now, that can definitely complicate things and feelings, right? That can. But until I see a more explicit example of Kris Tyson being like, even, it doesn't have to be like extremely explicit. It can be like manipulation can be very subtle, you know, something to the effect of like, if you don't me, then the job is over. You know, like, until I see that, I'm not really inclined to believe it. The thing that I have seen from Muskina's response that's more compelling to me, and it's not in Muskina's favor, is the fact that, you know, once Muskina started getting way too attached to Kris, Kris didn't seemingly really like it that much. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Is there other stuff with the drama alerts? Because drama alerts tweeted a lot. I want to see if there's more to the story. Why are they tweeting about politics so much? This Twitter account's kind of cancer. Kris Tyson's partner allegedly canceled stream following the anonymous account posting their leaked messages. Hey, I won't be going live today due to Twitter. I've also only slept for an hour last night. Okay, so it seems like he did make that big statement then based on that. Interesting. Interesting. Huh. Well, that seems to be everything we can read here. Oh, here we go. More messages. So apparently leaked. Ava is one of the most famous trans and queer people on the planet. As a result, there are a lot of people who target her to make her seem like an awful person. Huge people are making tweets about it because they don't know the truth. I think this would have been a somewhat defensible take early on in the allegations, but with everything I've seen, I don't think there's a lot of defending Kris Tyson, to be honest with you. Like, at this point, this late, you know, maybe on individual claims you can try to defend them, but like in totality, when you take it all into account, from like the lolly stuff to like sending shad base to a server with minors in it, it's very not good. Now, Lava did tweet about, because if you remember in the Air statement, they said that Kris never knew Lava's age. So first, from Drama Alert Twitter account, in response, Nathan W., the guy who leaked the Discord chat logs, remember him? He said, Kris 100% knew Lava's age is such a wild claim, especially saying the server was deleted as soon as Kris found out, considering Lava joined the Discord around 2017 when he was 14 and 15. The server got deleted in 2021. It took Kris 4 years to realize Lava was a minor after voice chatting with him hours a day per week. That's a, you know, very great question. And Lava here says, yeah, Nathan's right. Kris knew my age around 2018. Also, the reason the Discord was deleted is entirely incorrect. It was deleted about 10 months after I started MrBeast Gaming. I worked for them for 12 months, not 9. The AI summary in chat is saying you have an inappropriate relationship with Ava. That's very true. I think that's 1,000% true, and that's a true allegation, and that's based, and I did do that. And I love Kris Tyson. That's my take on that.